Hey everybody, welcome back to the 6th round post-fight show with me, Zane Simon, and my co-host, as always, Eddie Mercado. Welcome back, Eddie, after a couple of
Woo!
weeks away.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah. How was it worth missing? You know what, Eddie? Honestly, I think you kind of got the best deal out of missing UFC 306 for the wedding.
You know my superpower is timing. So
Yeah,
yeah, I always miss the shit cards.
you
And
you
I
missed
kind
out
of
on some like Coco ass Pixar level graphics. And then two of the most boring title fights possible back to back.
not surprised. So like
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna front. I was like dancing with my girlfriend and like had my phone out, and so I would like fade in and out of the fights on the low. But every time I turned it on, somebody was just laying on somebody. And I
Yeah.
was like, yes.
There was some cool stuff on the undercard, but that card was never about the undercard. It was not constructed for people showing up for, Ribovic
Oh,
versus
no, I heard like they didn't even use the sphere for like the prelim, right? Like it was just like a
yeah, they
joke or
only
something
really
stupid.
turned it on uh for Dumont Aldana
Yeah, I
and
think
then
Dana
forward.
was probably pretty pissed about that.
I
The
mean,
sphere's done. They're
he
never
set
gonna
it
get it.
up. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I think the amount of money they didn't want to have like everything planned for all these prelims that if any of them went away and got closed down, then they'd have to do like new graphics and all that stuff. So yeah. Anyway. Yeah, let's jump in on this UFC Paris card that just finished up, which wound up on a pretty good note. It started out pretty bad. Everybody was checked out by the midway point and then picked up.
It started out slow. Some bangers on the main card, absolute bangers.
Yep.
Some wonky scorecards.
One or two. One or two.
Um, and an anticlimactic main event.
I mean, it's anticlimactic, but also really impressive
Sure.
because,
I mean, what Moicano did, whoo,
yeah,
that was one of the best rounds I've ever seen out of anybody.
yeah. I
Like
mean,
the way he manhandled BSD on the ground. Who does that? Remember DP and
yeah,
BSD? Like
yeah,
Dustin Poirier was getting worked over on the ground, and for Moicano to come out and have a performance like that, to the point where
exactly.
he did so much damage in the first that he just took the second off because
Yeah,
he
I mean,
knew I just
he
gotta
got
wait.
this fight got stopped after Benoit Saint-Denis won a round.
Yeah.
Like they waved it off after a round he won, which like I get it. It had his right eye was closed. The doctor had to come in and check him because
Yeah.
his face was fucked. Like you have to bring a doctor in to look at that.
I would have been more upset if they didn't stop it.
Yeah, but it is really funny that they called it off after he came back and won a round. Like
It's ironic. But
it is.
again, I think Moicano honestly just took that round off because all the damage was
Sure.
done and he just had to wait for the doctor.
Yeah. No.
It's not like
Great work from him.
it's not like his eyes are going to get any better the longer the fight went on. So he just needed to be safe and wait it out. Brilliant performance by Moicano.
Yeah. And then he got up and gave a increasingly like the Moicano wants money post fight speeches have only been getting weirder. Like
Yeah.
at first he's getting a little libertarian for a minute, and now he's in like full on gold standard mode and like shouting out, telling everybody to read, but getting pissed off at the French Revolution in like
When was that?
it's been 300 years, Renato. We've all moved on.
I wasn't sure what he was kind of bouncing around. Was he talking about Jesus? And then he's like attacking the globalists. And then he's like, fuck democracy. And I'm just like, are you hating on the globalists or do you want what do you want? What's your answer? Right? Like, what's your answer? You're out here just like, fuck this.
He's a crypto anarchist libertarian. He wants a de-evolved society where we all live on our own farms and provide for ourselves, and there are no general laws governing society, only what you can, fence off. And
I wonder if he knows here in the U.S. we have a democratic republic. I wonder if he knows that this is not actually a true democracy.
I don't know. I can only guess. But yeah, it was a weird post-fight speech after a really great performance from him, and then hey, he had a couple of good call-outs right afterward. Dan Hooker and Patty Pimblett, and I honestly think that since Pimblett came out and won his fight with Bobby Green, you got to do Pimblett Moicano. If Moicano is calling for that fight, that's a fight to make.
If Pimblett will accept it, that's the only hang up there, right?
Yeah.
If he accepts it, because he kind of has all the say.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But that seems like the best fight to make. I'm seeing somebody in the comments here saying, "Oh, we should run back Moicano RDA," and like,
fuck no.
No, I don't care about that.
If I were Moicano, I would have tried to aim for the Dustin Poirier fight.
Yeah,
that's a money fight. Like, if you want money, call out fucking Dustin Poirier, who A, might actually take that fight, and B, like, that's probably a bigger payday than anyone else he mentioned. I know Pimblett's probably up there, but Dan Hooker.
Yeah. Hooker's now, like, he's up here ranked 5th coming off a win. He's almost certainly going to be gunning for, Gaethje, Poirier, that kind of fight. The Poirier rematch, especially, I'm sure. But yeah, Pimblett is ranked lower than Moicano right now, so that is probably, especially with Moicano coming off this win, it would be the fight that if Pimblett is serious about trying to get up the division, it's the fight that most likely he would get. So,
yeah, bad matchup for Pimblett. Honestly, that's a bad matchup for Pimblett.
I want to watch it though. I want to see it at this point.
Yeah. That ground and pound, that's some of the nastiest ground and pound I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Like, those elbows, oh my goodness. Like, every transition, he was dropping an elbow in between. It was phenomenal. What a clinic. Moicano put on a fucking clinic.
Mm-hmm. It was beautiful. And I've never, I did not think that Benoit Saint-Denis could get bossed on the mat like that. That he could just get locked down that way. And I
picked him to win. I thought he was going to win by knockout.
Yeah, I did too. I figured that he would start hot, and Moicano usually can bounce back if he can take somebody over on the mat. If they don't want to grapple with him, then Moicano usually has an avenue to claw his way back into a fight and put somebody where they don't want to be. But against somebody who was going to start hot and just be willing to tangle with him everywhere, I figured Moicano would just, he'd stay behind. He'd get hurt and he'd get finished. But no, he just came out. I think Saint-Denis probably didn't think that Moicano could do anything to him on the mat and just let him have that first takedown for free, thinking it was not that big a deal.
And he only needed one takedown. That's insane. Yep. He almost got up too, but then he got his back taken, and that really was the end. He was tripoded. He was almost up. But Moicano is that dude. And honestly, that's why I picked Moicano against Jalen Turner.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, if he gets him down, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
But I did not expect this at all. What a pleasant surprise, though. Like,
yeah. It's,
didn't see it
there's something about libertarians and BJJ. It's just like,
Is it the ultimate base for grappling? Is being a liberal?
Yeah.
Or a libertarian? Not a liberal, libertarian.
No. Being a liberal is terrible for BJJ. I think we can say that. For combat sports. Yeah, that's the worst base for combat sports. I think we can say that pretty safely. somebody asking, did anybody score round 1 at 10-8? Yeah, I think
Oh yeah, everybody.
it's an easy
I did.
10-8. Yeah. Damage, duration, dominance, all the D's right there.
These nuts.
And but yeah, it was a great round for Moicano. Great fight for him. Really shocked to see him putting this late surge together, honestly. Like, back when
No.
he took that I mean, I know it was a short notice fight against RDA. Really, it's going back to when he got knocked out by Rafael Fiziev. That was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, we've seen what we're going to see from Moicano at lightweight. He can be fun, and he's going to get hurt too easily to make any real run. But at this point where he's beat...
Well, sorry to interrupt, but that's even at featherweight, that was the thing, right? He would get starched by people who had that pop, who could sting with their hands. And so I was like, well, BSD's a motherfucking monster. He's got power for days.
Well, and at this point, too, you got to say that, like, dude has beat Brad Riddell, Drew Dober, Jalen Turner, and Benoit Saint-Denis in a row. Like, those are all hitters. Every last one of them.
Yeah.
They are all huge knockout punchers. So.
And he's 35. Like, this is his time.
Yep.
It's now or never. If he's going to make a run, you know what I'm saying? If he has any title aspirations or anything, or big money fight aspirations, it's now or never.
Yeah. So happy to see it. Didn't think it was going to happen, but it's been a lot of fun to watch. All right, that brings us to a middleweight bout: Nassourdine Imavov, Brendan Allen, and I know it was getting pretty sloppy by the end, but I will say I wish this had been a 5-round fight.
I wish it was a 5-round fight that wasn't in France.
Okay, sure.
So I initially picked Brendan Allen going in, but after the weigh-ins, they made Brendan Allen go pee in a cup right away.
Oh, yeah.
Like, do not pass go, do not collect $200. You go pee in a cup, and then you start doing blood work. And then it wasn't enough blood, so they had to do it again. And then they tried to do it again. And then once I heard Brendan come out and actually say something about it, like, it got to the point where he didn't just keep it behind the scenes. He actually went to social media and put it out there. I was like, nope, I'm changing my bet. I'm officially changing my pick. I'm going Imavov all day. They're in France.
I don't think that the French actually care about Nassourdine Imavov enough to, like, make it a thing, but he certainly...
It was enough to spook me into changing my pick.
Yeah. I was not picking Brendan Allen going into this, but I did, once again, I think much like Moicano Saint-Denis, I think Imavov just kind of came out thinking, oh, Allen can't wrestle me, and just gave up that first takedown for free, basically. Because it's not like he had any trouble with the wrestling the rest of the fight, but that first time, he just walked right into it and got planted and got dominated for that first round.
True. I do like the adjustments he made, though.
Yeah.
And he started stuffing the takedowns from then on out. So, I mean, good on Imavov for... It wasn't an easy fight, and that pace was ridiculous. Both of them were feeling it by the third round. So, like, 5, I don't know. They were gassed in 3, so I don't even know.
But that's what I want to see. Somebody's got it right here. We could have saw the second coming of Nicky Thrills versus Sopalele. Like, I want to see a fight like that where two guys are getting really, really tired. Like, I want to see what's the end point of this. Who dies first? Like... You two are running yourselves out of the fight. I want to see who's actually going to make that happen. So
I'd pick Brendan Allen in that. I think
that's why I want to see it. Like, it might be enough to turn it. He was certainly starting to really land on Imavov, and Imavov was looking pretty tired by the end of that fight. So, and these are both dudes who, Imavov came out of this talking about how he thinks he deserves the title shot. And Allen has been talking nothing but title shot for like the past year and a half. and you guys are both super gassed in 3 rounds, I want to see 5. Like, I'm sorry, but like, you're telling me you can fight for a title and you can't fight 3 rounds? You know?
No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
But yeah, I mean, Allen, the striking defense is still terrible, and his wrestling game is better, but he's still not a great, like, powerful wrestler.
I think his that's fine. You can get around that, but like,
Yeah.
in my opinion, his biggest like fault, I guess, is his lack of ground and pound. If he would have got his fucking elbows and punches going the way Moicano did with his takedown in the first round, could have been a completely different fight. So, and he's never been a ground and pound kind of guy.
No.
And like that's a shame because you have all that control and you can't figure out a way to drop some bows and do some damage with the position you have. Shame on you.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, going into this, my kind of read on this is nobody beats Brendan Allen on the ground, and he made it look like that for the first round. But after that, Imavov actually, he really made him pay for a lack of, his lack of attack off his, on the ground in general. Like, Imavov just dived in on him and busted him up badly enough that Allen wanted to stand. Like, Allen had to.
Well, I don't think Allen ever wanted to stand.
He had to, though.
He just didn't want to be on the bottom.
Yeah. So, decent performance from me. Controlled performance from Imavov. Not great, but controlled. Got the win for Allen. Kind of the reality check he's been heading for a while. That, his best win in this big long run was scraping by Chris Curtis.
In their rematch, yeah.
In their rematch. And he wasn't really fighting anybody who could compete, who could really outstrike him to any notability, My
big worry for him here is that he'll blame it on the commission. He'll be like,
he's definitely blaming it on the commission. No question.
I mean, he did. I mean, you can say he had to fight the commission too. Like, that's fucked up. Like, that's fucked up. But they did it to Moicano also. So
yeah, the fighters out there, they love randomized drug testing. They all say they want it. That's what we hear. So you get random. Random is random. It might mean, right after weigh-ins. Sorry, dude.
For the non-French fighters.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure that's random.
All right. So what do we do with Nasruddin Imavov? Got somebody asking Imavov.
That's the weird thing. What do you do with Imavov? Because everybody ahead of him is significantly better than him, and he's already lost to Strickland, right?
Yeah. I mean, you could say do the Strickland rematch.
Nah, bro.
But
you got to go the other way. He's got to fight someone below him in the rankings.
Yeah. I think the fight you do. Oh,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So the fight you do, honestly, Kyle Bahio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No, I like that.
Bahio's making waves, and not only is Strickland gonna have no interest in that Imavov fight, but with Whitaker and Chimaev out there facing each other,
Adesanya is going to be gone for a while.
Yeah, he says. Who knows with him?
I can't see him coming back for an Imavov fight.
No. I'm just saying that, like, with Adesanya, Whitaker, Chimaev, and Strickland out there, you've got potential title fights out there, like, floating around Dricus du Plessis for another couple of years. Imavov is not jumping into that mix and getting to the head of anything.
No.
Unless
he came out tonight and did something just ridiculously like, holy shit, I got to see him again ASAP. He's got to go the other way in the rankings. And honestly, there's a lot of Brendan Allen in Caio Borralho. There's a lot of Brendan Allen in there. Yeah. With maybe a little bit better striking from range.
Yeah, definitely better striking from range, better shot selection, better defensive mindset from Borralho.
And just a higher fight Q, I'll say. The fighting nerd.
That would be a real tough fight for Imavov. So I'm definitely into that. So
Real
otherwise,
quick, I'd be fine
yeah,
if they did a Cannonier rematch.
for Imavov, sure. I mean,
I didn't
I
like
don't
that
think there's
stoppage.
no reason that if you're Imavov, there's absolutely no reason whatsoever you take that fight.
No,
But
there is. If it's, if that's what they give you, because you're not going to fight anyone above you, and
yeah,
you're in zero position to sit out and wait. Like,
but that's a fight you've already won. Like you just say, nah, I don't need to fight that guy twice. I knocked him out. Like, what do I need to do that again for?
yeah, but it was controversial.
Only if you're Jared Cannonier and you
But if
want
you knocked
like,
him out, like, hey, that's an easy paycheck. I can do it again.
nah, but that's just. I mean, fighters they do think that way, so they might, but
No, I
that's
think you
just
hit it
bad
with
management.
Kaio. I think you hit it with Kaio.
Yeah,
That's the most logical.
you want to fight a guy who's got a little hype behind him. Right now, Cannonier, that's just nobody cares about Jared Cannonier.
True.
All right. Somebody in the chat suggested doing Brendan Allen versus Fluffy Hernandez. I would absolutely be down to see that.
Brendan Allen and Fluffy.
Although Fluffy's fighting Michelle Pereira, so that can't happen.
Let's do Brendan Allen and Chris Curtis 3.
Oh wait, Paulo Costa's out there. Brendan Allen, Paulo Costa. That's a fight I want to see.
If Costa will get up for it.
Yeah, he probably won't, but Allen is ranked ahead of him, so
Is Marvin Vittori still injured?
Probably is still injured, and even if he's not, I don't care who Marvin Vittori fights. There's no Marvin Vittori fight that
I mean, I
care
really
about.
don't care who Brendan Allen fights either, to be fair.
I like Brendan Allen's he's at least always active and makes for he's out there to scrap at least.
He's a frustrating fighter to watch though. It's like, I don't know. It's the lack of striking confidence and the lack of wrestling, like that combination when it deflates like it did tonight.
Yeah.
And he's just like, almost pulling
the bad
guard.
side is bad.
Yeah.
When he's got the advantage, it's a lot of fun. When he doesn't, it's not a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. That brings us to a featherweight bout. William Gomes, Joanderson Brito.
It's a fucking robbery as far as I'm concerned.
And
hold on, hear me out.
Okay.
How do you score either of the first 2 rounds for Gomes?
I thought the judges would give Gomes round 1.
Round what?
Round 1.
Round 1?
Yes. I don't think
he was getting lit up with some haymakers in round 1.
I don't think that they cared anything about that late sub attempt. And he got cracked a few times. But I think that I'm not at all surprised that the judges
look at the strike count in that first round.
I'm looking.
I'm sure Brito got the strike count in both 1 and 2. And he had
was
that near
dead even in round 1. Was 9-9 for significant strikes, 22-20 for Gomes in total strikes. Plus 3 minutes of control that the judges are.
Yeah, but I didn't think those strikes were even, if you know what I mean.
No,
Brito
I
had a lot more horsepower. Hard to score that first round.
I'm not at all surprised that Gomes got it from 2 judges.
I'm not surprised he got it in France from those judges.
But they're not French judges.
What's
None
that?
of them were French. None of them were French.
It doesn't matter. You're telling me there's no home cooking going on in any of these countries because none of the judges are actually from there? You're delusional.
I'm telling you, I don't think that Ben Cartwright is going to France.
I'm telling you, when the dude is plus 400 and it's almost kind of debatable, you're going to get a screw job.
I don't know. I don't see the logic for it being an actual robbery where somebody was paying to take that fight away from him.
I don't know. I can't score that first round for Gomes at all.
I'm not
definitely not the second.
No. He absolutely lost the second. Nobody scored the second round for William Gomes. He didn't win that on any card. The third is the one I thought was the questionable round because Gomes did pretty well late in that round, and or let's see,
Early. No, he did
early in
well
that round. Yeah,
early.
he did well early in that round, and then Brito got that takedown and started hitting him with some ground and pound that looked like it was pretty good, and it was just very like half 50-50 to me. That was just a pure toss-up round. So I had it 1-1 and then a toss-up third. But every judge gave Gomes round 3.
Who'd you score the fight for?
I figured Gomes would get it 29-28.
Who'd you score it for? You scored it for him?
Yeah, I scored it with the assumption that the judges would give him 1 and 3.
I mean, before they announced it, I was like, "Oh, Gomes got this." Like, there's no way this is going to Brito. There's no fucking way that this French guy is not going to win this close fight.
The big thing to me, though, is that honestly, Brito did really. He fought stupid. Like, he spent way too much time clinching up with Gomes, trying to take him down and control him. It's just like, just keep walking this guy down and hitting him really hard and swinging at him really hard. You don't need to be trying to out-wrestle this bigger guy. You're not a more technical wrestler than him. When he got him down, yeah, great, that works. But he wasted a lot of time.
He's a wild man. Like, Brito's a fucking wild man. He's got that
not thinking out there.
He's got that Kutalaba cloth, you know?
Yeah. So it was a bad performance from Brito. I
didn't think it was a bad performance. I thought it was a Brito performance. Like, he was just fucking wild.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, be wild, but know that like the clinch is not your friend here. That's not making the fight better for you, you know?
I still think he won the fight.
He might have. I think it's totally debatable. Somebody asking us what we thought about the game plan for Benoit Saint-Denis. I don't think they
never had a chance to get it going.
Yeah, we didn't experience the game plan. I think, like I said, I think he came in thinking that he was the stronger guy and just as good a grappler, and he did not have to worry about Moicano early, and he just gave up a takedown that he didn't think was the problem. And after that, it was all fucked. So I don't think we got to see enough to even know what his game plan might have been. He was confident, and his confidence killed him. But yeah, Gomes coming out of that, I don't know. I don't really. That's the thing, is that I still only really care who Brito fights. I didn't come out of that thinking like, man, I want to see, William Gomes in like his next.
I mean, maybe I just feel like Brito came much closer to ending that fight than Gomes ever did.
Yeah, it's definitely, and Brito just is a much more fun fight. Like, sure, you can go out and match William Gomes against, like, I don't know.
I don't even care.
Yeah,
I'm not excited to see him again.
Like, you can put him against Julio Arce or Yusuf Zalal or something, and it's like, yeah, fine, whatever. It'll be a fight.
Yeah, he's going to fade back into this sea of just blurriness.
Yeah,
is irrelevant.
Which is wild for a fighter who's on like a 12 fight winning streak or whatever. But who cares?
This is a huge win for him, though.
It is. Record. It's a big win. It's a big win. He's putting the streak together. That brings us to a welterweight bout, though. Brian Battle, Kevin Jousset.
Tell me you picked against Brian Battle.
Of course I did.
Another fade of Brian Battle for no fucking reason. When will you respect this man?
When he stops changing his nickname from Pooh Bear to the Butcher. I'm sorry, Brian, but I'm never going to buy you as the Butcher.
Do you know why they called him Pooh Bear or whatever? Huggy Bear or whatever it was?
Pooh Bear. It was Pooh Bear.
Do you know why?
It was a childhood nickname, right?
So, have you ever seen Brian Battle's professional debut?
No.
It was at fucking heavyweight. And he looks just like Winnie the Pooh. I'm not even fucking kidding. I didn't believe it when I first saw it. I was like, there's no way this is Brian Battle. But he gets head kick knocked out in it. Yeah, look it up, dude. He gets head kick knocked out in his debut and then just goes on a fucking tear. And hold on real quick. So 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's a chunky boy.
And that makes me like him even more.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't get to
But
pick your
hold on,
nick.
timeout. Hold on. His last 4 wins, finishes, knockout, rear
He's
naked choke, knockout,
look,
head kick. That's a butcher, my guy. Hate to say it.
look. You can be a butcher, but you don't get to pick your nickname. You don't. And he very clearly chose that one for himself.
I'm with you, but at least there's some alliteration and he's fulfilling the prophecy.
I don't dislike him as watching him fight. He's fun. He's great. I should stop picking against him. I just the vibes are bad. Like the chip on his shoulder,
It's his
I just don't
aura.
have any fun with it. The aura is bad. The
Yeah,
aura
but he
is
was a fat guy who got slim. So like
I know, but you picking your own nickname, referring to yourself in the third person,
it's cringe. It's
I
cringe.
don't rock with it. Yeah.
It's cringe.
I will say everybody on Twitter loved his post-fight speech, so I feel like a little left out for not enjoying it that much. But
I
the
mean,
whole like you know, your hate just makes me stronger. Okay, fine, whatever.
and that's fat guy aura.
Yeah,
That is fat
yeah.
guy aura.
And you know what? Fair to him, I'm not losing to a fist fight to a French guy in France.
That's gold. That's
It
not
is-
cringy. That's funny.
It's not. It is funny. I shouldn't. I don't even want to hate on it. I'm just.
What was funnier than that though is when they failed to translate it to the crowd.
Yeah. No, they're not translating that.
No, that was great, man. What I liked here is how Brian Battle fought Juice as if he were much better than him.
Mm-hmm.
He took it right to him. No respect. Oh, you're a judo guy? Cool. I'm going to fight you in the clinch. Okay, now I'm going to pick you apart at range. I really respect the way his moxie out there. Like he knew in his mind that he was better than this guy, and he fought him like that.
Yeah, and the thing, I mean, too, is this is just a great like meta game fight example where, yeah, Juice is a cleaner striker. He's got a nicer 1-2. He hits a low kick with a little more snap and all that. But Battle really was just like, I'm going to throw 5 for every
cleaner
one.
at range.
Yeah.
Not in the clinch.
No.
Battle was far superior of a striker in the clinch.
Yeah. Certainly more active. But the whole thing is just like, I'm going to throw 5 for every time you throw 1. And sooner or later, that's going to get to you. It doesn't matter if you're hitting me clean, if I'm hitting you clean twice as often. And
mixing it up.
Yeah. He took advantage of, how upright and stiff Juice can be. And the fact that one of the best things, too, that Battle did in this and that he does, and I got to give him credit for, is, he doesn't move his head offline all that well, but he keeps his eyes really locked in on his opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And so Juice was hitting him clean, but Battle was seeing it just fine and reacting to it just fine. And Juice was trying to roll his head away from shots, which seems like a good idea. It's like, you'll take a little something off of it and all that. And when he was slipping and actually dodging, it was nice and it was working well. But when he wasn't getting his head offline and he was just rolling away, he was just taking his eyes off the shot. And everything that hit him, he wouldn't be braced for it. He wouldn't be seeing it coming. And it just started to really clearly take its toll on him.
Oh, yeah. The accumulation factor.
Yeah.
Just kept adding up until he got overwhelmed.
Yeah. So it was
brilliant performance by the Butcher.
Great performance by Pooh Bear.
He better get the fuck out of France, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're French. What are they going to do? Strike at him?
They're going to spit on him.
They're going to strike at him.
They're going to hawk two of him.
But now you got to do like Brian Battle, Randy Brown, maybe.
Ooh, that's sexy.
Yeah,
that is sexy. Yeah, kind of similar, honestly. Similar skill sets.
Chaos Williams is coming off a win.
Ooh,
do that. I'd want to watch that. Michael Morales has probably run up the division just a little too far ahead of Battle at this point, since he got that win over Magny last time out.
Oh
But
yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't mind seeing them at some point in the near future.
Battles.
Yeah.
As anybody. The only person I don't want to see is Angelusa. Do not rebook that, no matter what. I do not ever want to see that fight again.
All right. Actually, I got the answer. And I hate to say it because I don't want to watch him lose to Brian Battle, but I really want to watch this fight. Carlos Prates.
Sure.
I want to see that fight.
Okay. Scrappy.
Prates
Scrappy
battle.
one.
Scrappy, hard striking. Prates is clean as hell. I love watching him strike, and Battle has proven that he can go out there and really put a pace on somebody. Seems like a good, fun, metagame kind of performance. Opportunity for both guys. I want to see that fight.
What's crazy is like Battle is such a killer, and he looks so god awful in that Fakhretdinov fight.
Like, I mean, his thing in the past was always he was a dude who would just accept whatever fight his opponent gave him. It was just like, oh, if you want to put me on the cage, that's fine. I'll scrap on the cage. If you want to take me down, that's fine. I'll scramble and scrap on the floor. If you want to stand out at range, I'll scrap there, whatever. And that Fakhretdinov fight was a great learning moment because it's like, okay, well, some guys are just going to go out and take you down, and that'll be it. You know, you can't just let everybody bring their fight to you. And now you see him out here against Jusei, and he's taking the fight to Jusei.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's the one pushing the fight, pushing the pace, taking the fight where it needs to go. That's
great.
What's
crazy, his aura doesn't fit that.
No.
He doesn't seem like that guy.
No.
But he's kind of that guy.
Anyway, yeah, I got to give him props. I love watching him fight. I just get the vibe off of him that I'm just like, I don't like this vibe.
But now you know where it comes from.
Yeah.
It's the big fat guy aura.
Yeah.
Who's slimmed down, and now he's out for revenge against the world who picked on him his whole life.
Yeah. It does make sense. It does fit. All right, that brings us to a featherweight bout. Morgan Charrier, Gabriel Miranda, and someday Charrier is going to go out there and he is just going to be that dude from moment one in a fight, and he is just going to look like a top of the world killer, and everybody's going to be like, oh my god, this dude is just amazing from moment one. He's going to have that Jorge Masvidal moment where like Masvidal was out there losing like decisions to Ally Quinta and throwing fits. And then like one day he just goes out there and like annihilates, Darren Till and like, or what, not Darren Till, but like, Ben Askren and whatever. And it's just going out there and like killing people. And people are like, oh my God, where did this come from?
How he did kill Darren Till also.
Yeah, and Darren Till. It was Darren Till as well. And like, Charrier is going to have that moment some point. In the meantime, he's just going to keep having rounds where you're like, yeah, okay, I guess this guy's fine. And then it just like clicks and you're like, oh my God, this guy, like.
He is the last pirate.
When he is on, the dude is a killer. Just an absolute top shelf fighter. It's just, it takes him a while to figure out exactly what he wants to do.
It kind of gives me Manel Kopp vibes.
Sure.
Like you have all this, you should be a champion. Why are you not a champion?
Yep.
But honestly, that first round was way closer than it should have been.
Exactly. It's just, it is gonna be this is a dude who is, he looks like one of the best fighters in the world when he is on, and he has a record that is 20-10. Like, he loses all the time, but is a fighter that when he is on, you're just like, oh my God, this guy could be he could be a top contender. Easy.
Where did all those losses come from?
He doesn't push the pace, and he fought a bunch of really good guys in Cage Warriors, and
true.
And in fact, like all his career, he's been fighting really good competition. Like, you go back early in his career, and He's fighting like Saladin Parnasse, who's 2-division champ over in KSW now.
Oh, he's
and one of their
fucking
best.
nasty, by the way.
Yeah.
Is he still 2-division champ?
I think he lost one of the
Yeah,
belts.
I think he get one up.
Um,
But still, yeah, he's
so he's
Paul
fighting.
Hughes. He fought Paul Hughes.
Yeah, he fought Paul. He's Jordan Vucenic, who just came to the UFC and had put on a really good fight against Guram Kutateladze on short notice. And he's fighting good fighters. It's also he doesn't push. That's why all of his losses too are all like split decisions and majority decisions and stuff like that. Because it's like, okay, you're great. You just don't push. You just don't push the pace. So.
Okay, so I think he actually never loses. He just runs out of time.
Pretty much.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
Even Nate Diaz. He never loses. He just runs out of time.
So
yeah, no, and that's what happens when you're going against the meta game. If you're not throwing your output like that, you're gonna be on the wrong end of some close decisions.
Yeah, but in the meantime, every time he figures it out, every time everything clicks, it's just like, God damn. Like that knockout he hit on Gabriel Miranda. Beautiful. Like you did one stupid little spinning like back fist attempt of like, I got my leg, I'm gonna spin out of this, and Charrier is just like, I am gonna kill you. You're gonna do a stupid spin in front of me, you are dead.
Yeah. What's great is like Morgan had a body lock on.
Yeah.
And like let it go, and the dude's like,
yeah, that's what it was. Funny. Yeah.
Fucking check hook right in your face.
Perfect.
Oh man. Awesome knockout. I saw some people clowning this knockout for some reason, but this is like this is the timing on
that's perfect. That is MMA is full of guys that do spinning shit when they shouldn't.
The ballerinas.
Full of guys that are defensive liabilities, and they just never pay for it because their opponent's footwork and timing is not that good. So you see something like this is how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be doing like some stupid spinning shit in front of somebody because they're going to knock you out. Yeah.
Oh man, remember Josh Thompson, Yves Edwards? One of my favorite knockouts of all time. Thompson tried to get cute with the spinning back fist from the exact same position that we saw here, and Yves hit him with that jumping head kick.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Let's see. Charrier. See somebody in here talking to fight Andre Fili. You know I'm always up to see Andre Fili fight anybody. Really, I just want to see Charrier keep busy and go out and get some more. Get anything like Ricardo Ramos would be a good fight. Sean Woodson, you could do against Nathaniel Wood. Charrier versus Wood.
Isn't Wood booked? I think Wood might be. I heard.
No, he just came off a win over Daniel Pineda.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and that's Woods, solid.
I like that fight, especially just because Woods had all this trouble with like trying to out wrestle everybody, even though he's 5'6" at featherweight. And like you got two guys, you got Charrier who has trouble pushing the pace, Wood who has trouble like sticking to the keeping the fight where it should be. Seems like a really fun clash of two guys.
Whatever gets us closer to the Chepe rematch.
Sure, yeah.
That's all I want, to be quite honest.
Chepe Mariscal, man, that dude is just that's a fighter who is 10 times better than I ever thought he would be.
Yeah, talk about the dog.
Yeah.
He is all dog.
All right. That brings us to a lightweight bout. Fares Ziam, Matt Frivola.
Man, I could not have been more wrong about this.
No, everybody was wrong about this. Everybody except
the odds makers.
The odds makers, and there was one guy on gambling Twitter who he put
There's
it out there.
There's a gambling Twitter?
Well, there's a bunch of gamblers that are all on MMA Twitter.
Oh. I don't know. I'm out of the loop. I just do my own thing.
I don't know. I don't know what you thought I was talking about, but I did see somebody given their breakdown, but they thought their breakdown was Ziam via KO round 1, which is I can see that as a chance bet, even though Ziam doesn't KO anybody, because Frivola only gets knocked out in round 1, or they were picking him to like grind out a split decision, basically. We got neither of that. Ziam went out there, he lit Frivola up from jump. And then he just kind of went and beat his ass all the rest of the way.
Beat his ass everywhere.
And honestly, hey, big credit to Ziam. Looked great at home. This is the worst Matt Frivola has ever looked in his entire career. Absolute.
Well, aside from the quick knockouts, I guess.
The quick knockouts, those aren't even like that to me is not even like that's not even looking bad. That's just your problem. You know, you're a cold starter who gets caught early. Okay, whatever. It's not good, but it's not like this was a whole fight of Matt Frivola just looking terrible.
Except for the first like minute, right?
Yeah.
Like he had a really good first minute. It honestly went all downhill when he jumped the gilly.
Yeah,
he was doing so well until he jumped the gilly, got into full mount, tried to finish with the one arm, you know?
Yeah. And the big thing for me was just he really didn't seem like he had any plan for how to handle Ziam's range. And we've seen Frivola fight other big, tall fighters. He, had good fights against Luis Pena and Jalen Turner, beat both of them. But here he was like Ziam was pumping a jab and just pawing in Frivola's face repeatedly. And Frivola would let him not only have the lead hand out and range finding, but do it enough so that Ziam could just set up whatever he wanted behind it. And Ziam would just like paw for like 10 seconds and then fire an uppercut right behind it. And Frivola was just, he was letting him have the whole setup, the whole feeling out process into the shots. And it was just terrible. Like, I don't know what Frivola was doing out there at all. You're going to give a guy
getting worked. That's what
you're going to give the longer, taller fighter time and distance to find their strikes all the time. It's just terrible.
And also Frivola was just spamming hooks, right? Like, that's not gonna, that works sometimes.
Yeah.
But it didn't work here against someone willing to commit to their jab and refuse to be taken down.
And I don't know. I come out of this fight thinking like, Frivola, you need to take a hard look in the mirror. Like, is this for you? Because you got knocked out so cold by this dude that is on nobody's radar in the lightweight division. Like, far as Ziam
actually, he called for the knee knockout himself.
Yeah.
He said it, but he said it was going to be in the second round.
Yeah.
Turned out to be the third. But that knockout was fucking beautiful. That was beautiful.
It was gorgeous. And Ziam, I mean, this is a huge win for him. Real put him up, shoot him way up the division. Suddenly he's on a win streak. Suddenly he's got a big knockout kind of thing. But like for Frivola, like you're losing to a guy that nobody was talking about, nobody cared about. And you lost, not just like, oh, I lost, that sucked, I had a competitive, like you lost bad. And you got knocked out so bad that you were stumbling out of the cage. Like you had to have two people there, like carrying him out of the cage that he was knocked out so bad.
No, he should be out for a while after this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not going to tell him to retire, but like
you're putting him in the Terrence McKinney category.
Yeah, I don't want to see it. Like, I don't want to see it after this. You're 35. You've been knocked out hard 4 times, and you're losing to the bottom end of the lightweight division. Like, I just don't need it. He had a nice run. He had a moment where he had that 3 knockout run culminating with Drew Dober, and they stuck him at the edge of the top 15. And now he's just been chewed up in 2 straight fights. And it's just like, okay, well, are you going to go all the way back down the division now at 35? Because
I don't know, prize fighting is a rough life.
It is a rough life. All right.
So Esteban Ribovic, is he next?
For Ziam?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would love to see that fight.
Seems proper.
Ribovic that's a hell of a good booking.
Make the call, Zane.
Yeah. I will. I'm getting on. I'm getting on Joe Silva's number right now, and he keeps telling me it's not his job anymore. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Joe, but
Make it your job. What
Mick
do you think
won't
he's
pick up
doing
my
right
phone,
now?
pick up my calls.
What do you think Joe Silva's doing right now? You think he still watches?
Yeah, I'm sure he does. He was so addicted. Like
Yeah.
he was the super fan. That's how he got that job. Was just like hounding Campbell and all them, and like writing them letters and being like, you need to match these guys up, or that fight sucked, and oh my god, what were you doing there? And like he hounded them until he got a job. But yeah. All right. That brings us to a light heavyweight bout. Iwan Kudalaba, Ivan Erslan. And
Banger.
It was a banger, but also for Ivan Erslan, like I was not that excited about you coming in as like kind of couldn't win a title in KSW guy. And
KSW, the schmuck over there is not existent. So
sure. And
it's very hard. It's not as easy as it sounds. Like, oh, this, not regional, but regional.
I get it, but Erslan doesn't look like a dude who's been going through a lot of drug testing himself, Well,
neither does Kudalaba, but here we are.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, like, if you're gonna be that dude on the regionals, I expect you. And you're 32, and the UFC's picking you up, and you're like a banger light heavyweight, and you can't navigate your way past Iwan Kudalaba. I'm not that. My hopes for your future aren't high here.
Well, okay. In that regard, yeah. I mean, my hopes for his future have never been high, nor will they ever be. Like, as far as I'm concerned, he was just some brawler coming in for an exciting fight, and that's what we got.
And he gave it to us.
He lived up to my expectations.
Yeah. Somebody here saying that we need to see him face off with Anthony Smith. Like, that's the bald versus bald. But yeah, we need to see him against Volkan Oezdemir.
Vulcan or Bogdan.
Oh yeah, Bogdan Gushkov.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can run the gauntlet.
There we go.
Have a Mr. Clean off.
But for Kudalaba, pretty surprisingly good performance for him, honestly. He it was, by his standards, it was a pretty smart fight. He hit a couple takedowns.
So his lo-fi Q did not rear its ugly head until the third, right?
Yeah.
He comes out, he lands this wicked combination on his hands, and then shoots for a takedown with no reason to do so, and ends up on his back.
Yeah.
Like, why? I was like, there it is. I knew it was in there. But nah, he fought hard. He fought really hard. Yeah. Like he wanted to win this fight.
Yeah, put him in there with Modestas Bukauskas.
Oof. Fun.
Yeah.
Fun. Be a weird, someone's going to sleep.
Yeah, Bukauskas just got a good win off of Marcin Prachnio. This is the right kind of edges, the guys who aren't in the top 15 but stick around forever. But
yeah, some OGs.
Yeah.
Kudalaba's got that Morgan Charrier record.
Yeah, without the
flash
without the flash.
Without the all being split majority losses.
Yeah, with the every time you lose horribly kind of thing. But no, that is the thing with Kudalaba, is that every time he wins, you're always like, this guy should be pretty good. It could happen for him. And then you watch any of the fights he loses.
Or you see that third round where he just shoots a takedown because takedowns, I guess. They're legal.
You see his losses and you're like, okay, no, never mind. It's not happening. But solid performance from him here. Good enough to beat Ivan Erslan, who is probably going to have 2 fights in the UFC and then go home. Conan Silveira had it right when he's yelling at him in the corner, is like, do you want to be here more than once?
Right. Nah, but if he keeps fighting like he did tonight, they'll have him back until he loses 4 in a row.
They'll at least run his contract out, and he probably has 3 fights on it at least.
But even if he gets 1 dub, that he'll get.
Yeah, he'll get another.
anyone who comes out willing to bite down and just swing, they're
Yeah.
going to keep around, especially in that division.
It's true. That brings us to a light heavyweight bout. Umar Sy, Dawoon Jung, and man, Jung's confidence is still shot. Getting out kickboxed by Umar Sy is that ain't it.
Home cooking again. The judging here. This should have been a 29-28 times 3. My guy got dropped like twice in the first, and they still gave him the round. That's insane.
You might have a point, but I honestly can't care. Like, I just don't. Dawoon Jung there's nothing left in his game anymore.
No argument here.
Yeah.
No argument here. He should have won this fight easily.
Yeah, but
I didn't pick him. I didn't pick him.
No. C is confident, and he's a blanket grinder, and he wants to win. And Dawoon Jung just does not. He seems like he's out there just trying to survive. And
it's a great division for C.
Yeah,
205 is like tailor made for him, and he could easily put a couple wins together, and boom, before we know it, he's fucking ranked.
Yep.
But isn't he like a wrestler? Like, isn't that his MO?
Yes.
So, I mean, I thought it was cool seeing him come out and like stand and
oh yeah, it was cool. It was good. It was great for him, and it was great for his game and his future. It's terrible for Dawoon Jung to go out there and lose that fight. Yeah. You got if Umar Sy is doing that against like Azamat Mirzakhanov, he's going to sleep.
I don't know though. I don't know. At 205 is such an enigma.
I mean, it's
that ended up might being like a boring ass grappling match.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that if he's going out and striking with a striker like that, with a fighter like that, he's getting knocked out.
I did like his leg kicks though. That was a little surprising to me. I didn't expect him to come out and just commit to that throughout the whole fight.
Yeah,
he was gassed. He was so gassed in the third, but just pushed through.
Yeah,
that was a good sign.
It was a good fight for him. If you are Umar Sy's corner and team, this is what you want. You want your guy to go out there and have some hard rounds and go through trouble and have to pick himself up and all that. Learn the lessons.
Definitely got dropped twice in the first round though.
Yeah, if he's facing a bigger hitter, he's wrestling game. Round.
Home cooking, the French judging. Just saying.
All right. That brings us to a lightweight bout. Well, I guess let's see. Is there anybody that we care about actually see potentially face off against? I don't know that it matters really.
I got the perfect matchup. Perfect. Iwan Kudalaba. Tell me that's not the perfect matchup.
You know what? It would be fine. Yeah.
I know you don't like booking guys on the same card, but I don't see any reason not to book that.
All right. That brings us to a lightweight bout. Ludovic Klein, Roosevelt Roberts. And okay, somebody mentioning it here. For a minus 1,000 favorite, Klein did not look that impressive. He should never have been a minus 1,000 favorite. That does not make sense for Ludovic Klein.
That's actually more of an account of Roberts.
Yeah, but even then, like Roberts he's not great, but his biggest problem is really that he's just not like he's not a physically powerful fighter. He's not a guy that like is a terrible technical fighter.
I disagree. I think that's his hang-up is he's not that great technically. Like I don't think he has that deep of a tool shed.
I mean, he's
not out there setting things up and being methodical and calculated. He's just fighting.
He certainly made Ludovic Klein look like he didn't have anything to write home about. I mean,
I disagree. I thought he made Ludovic Klein look like a complete MMA fighter who, if one area gets shut down, he can transition and go into another realm and win a fight.
I don't know. I don't really think Klein won this fight, honestly.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair. I do.
I'm not going to say it was like I figured the judges would give it to him because he had the control and judges still love control and all that.
But he was throwing ground and pound too. He wasn't.
Yeah, ground and pound. They got his eye busted up. I mean,
whatever. So
that's The only thing of any note that happened in round 3 is him getting his eye all bloodied up.
And the ninja choke from Roosevelt.
And the ninja choke from Roosevelt. So
but I still think Klein won that round. He landed way more strikes.
Yeah, but damage, like at that point,
he landed more strikes. Like what?
He didn't do more damage. He didn't.
You mean like he didn't cut him?
It's not even the cut. It's that his eye was busted up. It's not just a cut, but like round 3 was a mess. I'm not gonna try to stand on it as like
Roosevelt showed up. That's a good takeaway there. He definitely
Roosevelt showed up, and Klein might just have the least impressive 7-fight unbeaten streak in UFC history. Like, these wins he's getting, they're not making him look like a great powerhouse fighter.
And if you go back and look at Roosevelt's UFC record, I mean, he's got all these losses that he was coming off of. So I'm sure that played a big part in the odds making here.
No, I get why everybody thought Roosevelt was going to lose this fight. I just don't. Klein is not a fighter who should ever be that big a favorite in the odds. He's not good enough for that. That's just really
no. I agree. Truth. I agree. I thought it was terrible.
Yeah. So,
but on the same token, nobody was picking Roosevelt Roberts to win.
No, that's the thing.
So that's really where it comes from.
Yeah, I will say at that point, Klein should probably. I mean, unfortunately, there's not really a fight for him in the rankings that makes sense. But at some point off this win streak, you do have to start giving him a serious bump up.
Was this this was short notice, wasn't it? They didn't just book Roosevelt Roberts, right?
No, yeah, Roosevelt Roberts came in on short notice. This was supposed to be Ludovic Klein against
Nicholas
Mata, which
would have been a banger. Oof.
Yeah, but Mata's also coming off a bunch of losses, so I don't know why. Like, this is Nicholas Mata coming off of. Oh, I guess he beat Tom Nolan last time out, so I can only think of that fight from Trey Ogden that ended in a no contest where Mata got schooled brutally. So, yeah, I guess what do you do with Ludovic Klein coming off this?
Rebook the Mata fight after this terrible outing. You got it.
I guess
he shouldn't get any. He's not going to move anywhere because of this.
Yeah, I kind of think that they should just run him in over his head and let him see if he can actually sink or swim.
That minus 1,000 is getting to you, Zane.
Well, it's the 7-fight unbeaten streak and all that. It's like you're gonna put together a winning streak like that. At least, you know. Here, Nasrat Haqparast is coming off a win. Book him against Nasrat Haqparast.
That's good. That's a good booking.
You know,
Nasrat, Kelvin Gastelum light.
Or Joel Alvarez. That's another fight that I'd watch. Ludovic Klein, Joel Alvarez. After Alvarez schooled Elvis Brenner. All right. That brings us to a bantamweight bout. So my power actually went out. So I missed like half this prelim card at this point.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Taylor Lapilus, Vince Morales. I heard that it was better than I thought it would be for two counter-focused fighters who were going to go out there and be the second man to throw.
No, this was a totally just, I was happy to be there the whole time.
Yeah.
There was no point where I was like, this fight sucks or it's dragging on or anything, you know, and Lapilus, I feel like he started outclassing Morales in the beginning, but Morales just stayed with it and kept fighting his way into the fight and made it reasonably competitive, although Lapilus clearly won each round. But Lapilus, he was really on his volume out there. He was committed to just continuously pumping something out there, real slick he'd slightly move and throw something, and he looked sharp tonight. He looked really sharp. He did get taken down a couple of times, but he was able to get back to his feet and just really command the fight for three solid rounds.
Yeah, I figured this was going to be a pretty bad matchup for Vince Morales. So,
well, I mean, he was brought in to lose.
Yeah,
you know, he's a guy who was with the UFC. had a bad luck, had a bad streak, got cut, went and got some wins on the regional, brought back just like Lapalus. It's kind of the same story with him.
Yeah, but Morales, he's got a really he's a back foot counter boxer without much of a kicking game. So it's a game that is made to not thrive at this level. So,
and he was getting his fucking legs chewed up.
Yeah, and he always does.
His legs up.
He always does. I did catch Eileen Perez, Daria Zheleznikova, just enough to see that Zheleznikova absolutely should have fought to break away from Perez after getting taken down and getting up the first, or after fighting off the first time, the first takedown. It's just get away. You don't need to stay in this. Get space. But she couldn't keep or create any, and Perez eventually got down on top of her, and that's all it took.
Yeah, I saw this coming a mile away. I expected her to get submitted. Perez is just so much better on the ground. And especially after, she came in heavy, went full weight bully, there was no way she wasn't going to get the takedown. There was no way she wasn't going to get on top. And there was no way she wasn't. I thought she would get a ground and pound TKO, maybe not the submission, but it wasn't even close on the ground.
No, it wasn't. I keep being surprised that, for the 5'5" sacrifice throw mess that she keeps making it happen. This is a tiny woman who is more than willing to throw herself to the mat with her opponent on top of her.
First of all, she's only tiny from the waist up. Her fucking legs are tree trunks.
She lives off that. You don't have to tell me.
I don't know what you're talking about, Zane. Did you see the twerk in the face?
Yes, of course.
Oh, the disrespect. That was right there with Patty Pimblett teabagging old what's his face?
Yeah, Jordan
Levitt.
Yeah. Well,
Perez, she did her thing.
That makes Perez a top-ranked bantamweight. So she was ranked 15 coming in off this. So she's only going to move up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough style to deal with. If you got a specialty in any of those women's divisions, you have an edge. You have a big edge that can carry you quite far. And Perez's grappling is pretty fucking tough to deal with.
Yeah, might as well book her against Yana Santos. Or I would say Miesha Tate, but there's no way Miesha Tate's going to take that fight. Tate's gunning only for high-profile bouts. And Jermaine Durandamy doesn't really actually fight more than once every 2 years.
Yeah, no, she was actually supposed to be on this card.
That's right. She was supposed to fight
Cornol.
And do Perez against Yana Santos.
I'm over here looking at these rankings, right? And why am I seeing Chelsea Chandler ranked in the UFC?
Not only is she lost 2 of her 4 UFC bouts, she has literally never made bantamweight. She has never actually weighed in for the division.
Yeah, this is by far the worst weight class in the UFC.
In MMA. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these other promotions don't even have full divisions, so
yeah.
Same.
All right. That brings us to a flyweight bout. Daniel Barres, Victor Altamirano. I missed this one too.
Oh, dude, this was a banger. This was like a fight of the night contender, in my opinion. I mean, the fight starts and Barres just comes out and fucking drops Altamirano with his cross. And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Tries to finish him, couldn't. Altamirano gets back up, sees the round through, and then he's just spamming head kick, liver kick, and gets himself back into it. Second round, another knockdown. Third round, another fucking knockdown from Altamirano with the spinning back fist. And then Barres comes back at the end of the third and knocks Altamirano down again. I mean, it was just fun. It was fun the whole
Yeah, I'll
way
have to go
through.
back and watch that one.
Great fight. Great fight.
Feeling bad for my
The only
boy.
thing that was missing was a finish.
Yeah. Feeling bad for my boy Altamirano. He just doesn't have the horsepower to like really be a player in that division, but he's a lot of fun.
And he's just so committed to the back foot. That's another problem. He's so willing to back up. And it's like, bro, if you just come forward behind those kicks, you're going to have people shooting on you.
Yeah.
Great fight, though.
For that, Jacqueline Cavalcante, Nora Cornell, and I also missed this one, but I hear that it should not have been a split, right?
Here's the thing. Okay, so definitely shouldn't have been a split in my eyes. It should have been a clear win for Cavalcante, French home cooking. But on the same token, in the second round, there was an egregious fence grab.
Yeah.
Prevented a takedown that should have been a point deduction, automatic point deduction, like clearly prevented the takedown. So Cavalcante should have lost a point in that round. And then we might have gotten a draw. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, just honestly, the fight I don't think was as good as their first
one.
Yeah. The first fight was more fun for me because like they were both rocking each other in the first one.
Nothing makes you worse at MMA than learning more of it. You know, it's one of those fighters get better and they stop being aggressive and they're like, no, I got to fight smart. I got to be on the back foot. I got to be like clever about it. They're like, no, we just go out there and swang and wang. We don't need to see you trying to be clever.
Yeah, I mean, Cornell is just so wild out there. For being a kickboxer, her technique is just all over the place.
All right, and that brings us then to a lightweight bout. I did get to see this one, Chris Duncan, Balagioki.
Man, so I picked Duncan here, right?
Yeah, me too.
And the second the fight started, I was like,
yeah.
But then, like, Duncan just jumps this ghillie, commits to it, and like stays with it. And like as soon as like he lets it go, and it looked like Oki escaped, but Oki was asleep.
Yeah, he went out, postured up. He went out there with like his hands planted. His hands were planted when he went out, and so his muscles were just like tensed still.
Yeah,
and I mean it's impossible to maintain that headlock, that guillotine position, like to just hang there forever. So Duncan had to let it go sooner or later, and when he did, it's just like, oh shit, he's out. But I mean, I picked Duncan too. I feel a little vindicated, not because it was a great, Oki really did make Duncan look bad right from the jump. Just lasering him with straight shots, lancing him all the way. But the reason I picked Duncan is mostly an experience and craft pick. That this is a guy who's used to winning higher level fights and knows more about fighting. He has more tools to go to.
Well, for me, it was his ability to weather storms and like still be there late in the fight. And sure,
that's kind of what did it.
We got a microcosm of that.
Yeah,
it was just one round, but yeah, what a wonky, weird tech sub. I love me a tech sub, and this kind of tech sub is just. It's almost like Oki just stood up too fast.
Yeah,
and lost consciousness.
No, really, it was that
Talk
was
about timing. That's some crazy timing.
Yeah, all told, it was a dull, long middle card, but it's early in the day, so I love that. And wrapped up on its best note. I mean, the stoppage, the cut stoppage for Benoit Saint-Denis, that's not how we wanted to see the fight go.
Well, it's not a cut stoppage. It was an eye closed, can't see stoppage.
Yeah, okay. Same. But it was earned.
Yeah, well earned. Well earned.
All right. On that note, we're going to sign off. You can find me on Twitter at the Zane Simon. You can find Eddie on Twitter at the Eddie Mercado. You can find me on Substack at zanesimon.substack.com. And of course, support the show, the Vivisection 6 round on our Substack there. That's how you can show your support. Please do. And we will see you all next time. We'll be coming at you with a little bit of bonus content for our subscribers right after this. Adios, everyone.